Hi, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time joining, thank you so much. Please make sure to subscribe, like, comment, slap the notification bell, whatever else they say in YouTube landia. Just do it. Just do it. I promise you will not regret this. Anyways. So today we're going to talk about crystal children, the 14 signs that you are a crystal child. Don't mind that. We just don't mind that. So what are crystal children? Crystal children are the next evolutionary step in human evolution. I think I used evolution too many times. So crystal children are the next evolutionary step for us. Before the crystals, the indigo children came, and I talked about that in a previous video. You can check my channel for that. I'll also include a link down there. So anyways, once the enough indigos had come in to this earth plane, this place raised in frequency enough to begin accommodating the crystal children. And the reason they're called crystal children is because of the way their aura appears. It looks like a crystal in color, sparkly. Yes. And so after the crystal children, I think we should just put them all together, you know, crystal and rainbow. That's what this video is going to be about now. 14 signs that you are a crystal or rainbow child. I'll get into why they just put them together. So after the indigos came, they prepared the way, energetically speaking, for the earth plane, for this dimension that we're in, to begin housing the crystal children. The crystal children have a crystalline aura. It looks like crystal. The rainbow children is the next step after the crystal. It's basically like an upgraded crystal child. And the reason they're called rainbow children is because their aura looks like a rainbow. Now, what does that mean if it looks like a rainbow? Well, creation is composed of a spectrum of colors, which is rainbows. There are various rays of creation, thought forms of God, and it created specific bands of frequency that can show up as visual colors, can show up visually as colors. And so the rainbow children, they basically contain all of the 7 primary rays of creation. And so they have all of that already active in them at birth. And, you know, most adults, they will work their entire lives to raise their frequency enough to get to the point where the rainbow and crystal children are when they're born. Yeah. I don't know why I think that's funny, but yes. So these children are very, very special. Very, very, very special. And they're here to help us evolve back into the state that we were once in, a state of compassion, a state of love, where we care for each other, take care of each other, very, very similar to what Jesus was attempting to teach us, you know, to love your neighbor as you love yourself. Do unto thy neighbor as you would have done unto you. I'm just paraphrasing. Don't quote me. I'm paraphrasing. So that's what the crystal children and the rainbow children, which is an evolutionary upgrade, a bump up from the crystal. That's what they're here to do. So at this point, there are a tremendous amount of crystal and rainbow children as young adults. We'll go into when they began coming in a second. Just 1 second. So that's just, you know, one of the things that needed to happen first was the indigos coming, and then the crystals. And as the crystals really rooted in this dense soil, then the rainbows began to come. And there's another step after the rainbows. We'll get into that later. The diamond rays, just to whet your appetite. So 14 signs that you are a crystal or rainbow child. Oh, really quick before we get into that, you could have been born in indigo and opted to ascend higher, take that next evolutionary step and become a crystal or rainbow child. That's absolutely possible. And most indigos are already in the process or have completed that process. So, you know, you ain't stuck. You're not stuck. Creation is very dynamic. We have options, yo. Options. So the 14 signs that you are a crystal or rainbow child. Number 1. They began to appear, be born, incarnate, however you want to put it, around the year 2000. Okay, some came a little bit before. Of course, they're not all going to come at 1 month. You know what I'm saying? They're going to kind of, some will come in a little bit earlier, some will come in a little bit later. But it was around the year 2000 that they began coming in. The indigos, the stragglers of the indigo wave were around the 90s. Okay, so you see how it's, you know, trickling down, trickling up. Next step, trickling down, trickling up, next step, just like that, okay? Number 2, dos. Uno, dos. They have a penetrating gaze, like really piercing eyes. Very, very piercing. Sometimes the eyes are really unusual color, like not necessarily like odd, but just very, very intense. Like if you look at my eyes, they're like almost black. That's enough. Stop looking. So the eyes are very intense. You can see a depth to it. Number 3, they are sensitive both mentally and physically. Most of them have allergies. Some are due to environmental factors. Some are hereditary. Some are because of exposure to toxins. Okay? Sensitive. I was born in indigo, and as I transitioned into the crystal and rainbow rays, or wave, I developed tremendous allergies. Tremendous allergies. It's kind of ridiculous. But, you know, it's just a little inconvenience in my evolutionary process. That's okay. So number 4. They're spontaneous and sometimes act without thinking through the consequences. I'm so guilty of this. So they just do. They just go like, you know, it'll be okay. We just do this. We're just going to do this. Number 5, they love to hug. They're cuddle bugs. They are absolute cuddle bugs. And they feel very, very connected to pretty much any living thing. You know, there's so many videos out there of these precious, precious children, very young, and they're crying because they are empathizing with these animals, with these plants. Like you can see videos of children just devastated at the knowing that deforestation is going on, devastated that we are still consuming animal products, that factory farming is treating another living sentient being in the way that they're treated. So they're, you know, they're just lovers. They're absolutely lovers. There some, not all, but some can be really cuddly to the point where it's like, personal space reminder. Personal space reminder, please. But it's okay. We all need a little more love. Number 6, they're healers and psychics. I don't really like the term psychic, but it kind of goes. Okay, they have psychic ability. They have a much higher rate of having much more higher sensory perception intact when they're born. So, you know, they're just very, very gifted, energetically and spiritually gifted. They love music and singing, but they hate loud noises. Notice how these are kind of like symptoms of Asperger's, autism spectrum disorder. Very, very common. Very, very common to have that type of diagnosis placed on them. So number 8, they aren't comfortable in noisy, overcrowded places and suffer from sensory overload. One of the things that my children helped me to learn is that sensory integration disorder is a damn real thing. Not just because my children have it, but I have it as well. Sensory integration disorder is when it's basically like chaos, internal chaos within you, and then that translates as a need to control externally. It can cause you to develop certain tics, like OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, could definitely end up happening if the person is not taught or reminded as to how to cope. It's basically like your entire neurological system is on overload all day, every day. It's like fight or flight, nonstop. Like you living in Fight Club, boo. This Fight Club. But you're not fighting anyone but yourself. Tyler Durden. I don't know why that just came out. Oh, because Fight Club. Because Fight Club. That's right. That was the name of the character. Anyways, so you be Fight Clubbing up in here and in here, and you don't really know why. And that's sensory integration disorder. Another thing that I suffer from this, my children suffer from this, and I didn't realize that they weren't just giving me a hard time. Because I used to get really frustrated. Like, are you kidding? You don't see that? I would tell my son, like, can you get me the pencil? And the pencil would be right in front of him on the table. And then he'd be like, where is it? Where is it? I'm like, are you kidding me? You don't see it? And he literally didn't see it. It didn't register in his brain. And once I had spoken to his doctors about it and they explained this to me, then I was like, oh, okay, then I don't have to be upset. It's not on purpose. Yeah. So, yeah, sensory overload is a very real struggle for me personally. And I don't know too many people that struggle through this particular part, but the ones that I have realized share this struggle. They say same thing I say. It's so intense. There's times where like certain frequencies for songs, if the treble is too high, the sound, it feels as though the sound is drilling through every single pore on my body. I don't like to feel the wind blowing on my skin. It's painful. If you were to hit me hard, that wouldn't hurt as much as if you were to rub me very soft like this. That hurts a lot. And it's just my brain, like wires are crossed or something. And that ties into the sensory integration disorder. That's a symptom presentation of it. So number 9, they're just so sensitive to like negative events. Not just in their family, but worldwide. It's very difficult for them. They struggle a lot with watching violence, and especially nonsensical violence, or, well, yeah, honestly, pretty much all violence is nonsensical. Like, when you think about it. But violence towards children and women especially. That's a very difficult thing. Very difficult. Number 10. They are loving and generally easygoing. That doesn't necessarily mean though that they're not like regular children. They will still go through the temper tantrums. They will still go through, you know, not listening and thinking they know everything, and they're still children. Okay, we got to be fair about that. They are still children, and so they still experience this. Even the young adults, the older children who are now young adults, they very much experience this. Okay, it's not just that they're being unreasonably rebellious. They experience this. Okay, they're very much just like other children. As the rainbows and the crystal children have gotten older, they've become ready to become helpers, caregivers, volunteers, healers, teachers. Many of the crystal and rainbow children, young adults, and even the indigos who have made that transition into the rainbow and crystal bands of frequency have become activists. So I know quite a few, and they tend to be, not all, okay, this is not like everybody. There are a good number who tend to be very passionate vegans, and I absolutely respect that. I absolutely respect that. So, number 12. They love their family and their animals, their fur babies, fur siblings, so much. They have such loyalty to the people that they love, like extreme loyalty, extreme love, patience, all of that. It's very, very beautiful, very, very healing for others to see this. Number 13, they're usually born as indigos. If they're adults, you can best believe they were most likely indigos right before they became a rainbow or a crystal. Number 14, they are autodidactic. Take that in. They teach themselves. Okay, they prefer to teach themselves. I created an energetic system. I call it Kokoro 33. I teach in a learning pod, my learning pod, and no one ever taught me how to work energy. No one taught me about these topics. I just kind of know. And everything else in life that I've done, I've just taught myself. For a few years, I became a fashion and editorial photographer. It was a very successful venture, and I taught myself how to use a DSLR. I taught myself how to use Photoshop to edit the images. I did pretty good in that industry. A couple of years later, when I was done when I was done with that, I taught myself how to be a chocolatier. And I began making gluten-free vegan truffles, chocolate truffles. And one of my friends, she's actually a trained culinary chef. She's trained. And I had asked her a question about the chocolates. I had a little bit of a circumstance that was frustrating me with the finished look of the product and shipping and stuff. And she told me, like, she could never, ever, ever do the whole chocolatier thing because chocolate is so temperamental, so difficult to work with. And I was like, really? I thought it was super easy. And she goes, well, probably because you're so super temperamental yourself, and chocolate is just kind of your twin. It's true. It's true. It's true. I also, no one taught me how to drive stick shift. I taught myself how to drive stick shift. Yeah. I lied to my brother. I told him I knew how to drive stick, and I borrowed his car. And I drove it from Oakland, California, all the way to Sacramento, California. That's about 2 hours away. I drove it in the rain, in traffic, all by myself, like a G. Never stalled once. And I was just like, this is so easy. I don't understand why people make it so difficult. Stick shift is easy. I drove manual. And yeah, I'm not the only one that can do this. Pretty much all the rainbows and crystals have a tendency to want to teach themselves what it is. And my system, Kokoro 33, it honors that. It gives you the basics and encourages you to build upon the basics for any given exercise or skill that's being learned. So go to my website, check it out, enroll, join me. Just saying. So those are the 14 symptoms or signs. Symptoms like it's a disease. It's a condition. Uncurable. That's something we don't want to cure, though. That's something we want to really, really, really make sure that we foster, that we encourage the children to continue to just be who they are. Just beautiful, beautiful testaments to love, testaments to the tenacity of soul, that we will not go down without a fight. And when I say fight, I think it's more of a hug. Like, just hug it out. Just hug it out. So this was our talk on the 14 ways you could potentially recognize that you are a crystal or rainbow child. If you liked this video, please do come back often. Subscribe to my channel. Slap that notification bell. I don't really like to say slap that notification bell because that's, I don't know. Couldn't you just touch it? Do you really have to slap things? Just touch it. Just one finger, you know? Just one finger. We don't have to be so aggressive. There's times when aggression is good, is necessary. You know what I'm saying? But not for that. Just touch it. Tap it. Tap that ass. Ding. Anyways, subscribe. I plan to have many more talks about all kind of stuff. All kind of stuff. Comment down below. Give me your thoughts. Even if you think this sucks, comment, share. Let me know. Yeah, let me know. Also, let me know what else you'd like me to talk about. And maybe I'll ignore it. Maybe I'll talk about it. Who freaking knows? It's just, you know, I'm a rainbow. I'm a sovereign rainbow. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. But I am asking. So I'm requesting that you request for me to talk about something else. And we'll talk, boo. I see you. You see that? I see your heart. All right, guys. Thank you very much. See you in the next show. No, it's not a show. It's a video. Calm down, Emmie. Calm down. Get all excited talking to whoever's watching this. I see you, though. I see you. Doodles.